Welcome back to the channel. This is Seagrove. So I've been hyping this thing that we're getting towards, and we're so close. And this is really, really, really good stuff. It's not. It's just short, but it's very good. So I'm gonna go and explain to you what we're getting towards and reveal it, and then I'll tell you what today is. So we're going to be having professional players critique people playing their best or one of their best decks. So we have in 3 weeks we'll have about 3 weeks, maybe four. We'll have Andrew Wamboldt on. In 2 weeks, he'll be doing Vespiquen. In 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we'll have Chip Richley on, and he will be doing standard Mega Ray. And then this Monday or Tuesday, we will have Alex Wilson doing expanded Mega Ray. So we're really, really excited about that. And they're going to be on the channel discussing either my play or someone else's play that we've pre-recorded and talking about what they could have done better. So I think this is going to be really, really helpful as people are trying to get better at the game. So this week, what we are doing is, or today rather, we have a match between, it's a best of three between Andrew Wamboldt and I from about 6 months ago. And we have his critique of my play. He's not here today, so I'm going to be just going through it. But this is 6 months ago. I like to think I've gotten better since then. Just looking at the list, I already know I'm going to be making some mistakes. But there'll probably be three types of mistakes. Mistakes that I knew at the time were mistakes, but I just misplayed. Mistakes that I didn't know at the time were mistakes, but now I do, and mistakes that I would still make today. But this is Andrew Wamboldt's notes on my play. He's from the charizardlounge.com. It's his website. It's an amazing resource. Definitely go check it out. So let's go ahead and get into it. This is the list. It's 2 Shaman, 3 Volcanion, a Hoopa, and 4 Volcanion EX. And again, this is 6 months ago, so it's Primal Clash through Evolutions had just come out. I was playing 3 Energy Retrieval, that's okay. An Escape Rope, I prefer 2 Escape Rope now, and I don't play Switch, but then I was playing 1 Escape Rope and 2 Switch. 4 Elixir, and then only 3 Trainer's Mail, so maybe the second one of these switches could have been Escape Rope, one could be a Trainer's Mail. 4 Ultra, 4 VS Seeker. Delinquent, I like, it's cute, but there are 3 stadiums that are good. I'm only playing 1 here, I'm playing Perilous City. People typically play Perilous City or Skyfield or Scorched Earth, or 2 of 3 of those. I'm more onto Skyfield and Scorched Earth now, but I think Perilous City has its uses as well, even now, even though I don't prefer it. But a Fisherman, 2 Lysander, 3 N, a Ranger. I like Olympia better than Ranger, but I think Ranger was better then because Jolteon was pretty big. 4 Sycamore, 1 Perilous City, like we said earlier. Only 1 Fury Belt. That's okay. I think I prefer 2, but I was playing 1, 3, and I think that's fine. And 12 Fire Energy. So that's the list. We're going to go ahead and go into the game here. So he's going first. He went and said right off the bat that I probably should not have benched both baby Volcanion because I want to play in like I want him to knock up 3 EXs and 1 baby, preferably 3 Volcanion EXs and 1 baby, or 3 babies and 3 Volcanions. And I just wasn't sure at the time that I'd be able to get it. I think I do end up getting it, but I don't force him to knock him out. It is difficult to force that to happen. But he said I probably just shouldn't have played the second one down. And then on my first turn, he had a point about not discarding this fire energy. So I ended up playing this fire energy down and then sycamoring. And he was saying, trust the deck that you're going to find a fire energy. use Sycamore because he just hexed, so I can't steam up. So I should have just trusted I was going to find a fire energy, and then I could have gotten an attachment with power heater. That way, I would have two energies on the board right now instead of one. So I just should have trusted the deck there to find that fire energy. So I'm going to skip through his turns. I know people may want to see what he's doing, but we don't have view of his hands, so I'm going to skip to my second turn. He's going to take a knockout here. So he does grab the knockout, and he used an escape rope to get his shaman out of the active. So turn two, and this is something I'm still not completely sure about, but I'm better at now, but I'm still not 100% confident. I attached my float stone to the Volcanion EX with energy rather than the other one. And he's just attaching it to the one without, for the purpose of being able to manually retreat and discard those energies. Because when you manually retreat, you discard the energies and then you have access to them again for more steam ups through either fisherman or energy retrieval. And then the other reason he said you can like escape rope into attack and then escape rope into the other one and then retreat it. You can do that either way, but you have to retreat first, which gives your opponent a bit more knowledge. So that's why having on the one that doesn't have the energy is better. So let me explain that again. If I have one active with 3 energies and then one on the bench with no energies, but I have the float stone, then I can play escape rope, and then whatever they bring up, I can retreat. If I float stone my active with 3 energies, I have to retreat first. So there's that. It just gives my opponent more information. I use power heater here and I accelerated onto the baby, and he was saying don't accelerate onto your baby Volcanion because baby Volcanion only takes 1 energy to attack. If I accelerate onto another Volcanion EX, then I'm starting to build that into a threat and just give myself 2 options, because I can power up a baby Volcanion at a moment's notice, but I cannot power up a Volcanion EX at a moment's notice. So just giving myself more options by attaching to my Volcanion EX. So I'm going to skip to my next turn. And so I trainer's mail, and then I don't grab in. This is one that I realized as soon as I did it. I think. I don't look like I did. So who knows? But I trainer's mail and I don't grab in, and then I VS Seeker for in. And I just wasted a VS Seeker. So that was really, really bad. The second thing is I ended my turn here by attacking with Volcanion for 130. Had I retreated into the baby, I would have only done 20, but I would have gotten 2 attachments, and he would have had to find a Lysander or a Hex off of just getting End, and enough Pokemon to knock out my Volcanion. So it's very unlikely that he would have been able to Hex again or Lysander while doing enough damage to my Volcanion off of an End of 4. So attacking the baby is just better for a multitude of reasons, including the prize. He would have gone back to an odd number of prizes had he not been able to attack something else. So there's another reason why I should have attacked with the baby. Makes a lot of sense. So the next turn, I'm going to be, this is the next turn by itself. Okay, so I delinquent away his Skyfield instead of using an N. He said I should have just done some type of draw supporter like N. But the really bad thing, I think here I want to say this: I discard Hoopa because instead of Shaman because Shaman has a retreat of 1, and Hoopa has a retreat of 2. And since Hoopa's weak to Psychic, which Mega Guardy is, he's getting 1 shot just like the Shaman. So I'd rather have a 1 retreater than a 2 retreater that's going to get 1 shot. Anyways, so he suggests that I don't delinquent there, but then the next turn, it's not far. So the next turn, I could have delinquented here, and I didn't. Like, this is definitely one that I just didn't see it for whatever reason. It's the obvious play. I even VS Seeker and put my mouse over the. I mean, you can tell I'm not like thinking about delinquent, but my mouse goes over the delinquent, and I'm like, no, that's not a good idea. Well, I don't know if I really thought about it, but definitely delinquent here because I can put him to 0 and take a knockout, which is put him down to 0 cards and take a knockout. That probably would have won me this game. So that was my big mistake here. He was saying the first time I delinquented shouldn't have really done it, but since I did, the second time could have been actually a really good delinquent. And then, yeah. So I'm going to go to my last turn where you see my last mistake of the game. So, that was right here, right before I end, I think. No? Okay. Oh, I see. So, this is my hand going into my turn, and my win condition here is to get 3 steam ups and knock him out. And I reduce the chances of that happening by using a max elixir. So I'm going to max elixir onto one of my Volcanions just because that's a habit that I have, and I'm like, oh, elixirs are good, you know, they let me get more energies, but he's winning with 1 more knockout. So it doesn't really matter. I need to win this turn. So I elixir, which was wrong, but I do Trainer's Mail as well, and getting the Trainer's Mail is good just because that's going to thin out my deck. But this was obviously bad for the reasons I just explained. Okay, and then he ends up winning next turn, so I'm going to go ahead and skip to the next game. Game 2. Okay, cool. So game 2, I start with 2 Hoopa. He says I should have Ultra Balled away the fire energy and kept the retrieval for later, which makes a lot of sense, obviously. But I don't. So, yeah, that was just a bad play. Because dropping the fire energy allows me to attach with Power Heater, with even if I miss a steam up. He says he wasn't sure about grabbing the Hoopa. I mean, you see I only end up grabbing 2 EXs with it. So it's just really clogging up my bench for 1 extra Volcanion, which is helpful, but he just said he wasn't sure about that play. Going on, he said I should have grabbed the mini Volcanion, baby Volcanion, and used N instead. He said that probably would have been the better play there. So I'll go ahead and get out my 1 prize attacker while I can. Don't clog up my bench, and I keep Volcanion. I keep Hoopa and Shaman available for late game ends and stuff. So he said it could have been better to conserve the switch since Guardy plays Escape Rope. So if he Escape Ropes me, then I can switch later. Or if he Lysanders me. And actually that's exactly what happens, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah. Same thing with the Floatstone, probably just hold it and see if I get Lysander or something. Anyways, takes his turn. And sometimes you need to see turns happen so you get the context of the game, but I'm going to be explaining that as we're going, so. So I think the Lysander happens later. But anyways, so on this turn, he said this turn was fine. I'm gonna go ahead and skip to my third turn. Do, do, do. So he drops off my floatstone with a Rattata and then knocks me out, I think. Yeah. So here I make a misplay by attaching my fire energy to the Volcanion that already has energy, because I'm overcommitting to that card. So then if he can Lysander it up, which he is able to, then I don't have an attacker ready next turn. Had I attached my fire energy to the other one, then when I power heater, they're both at 2 energies, and then either one is a threat. Whereas right now he's able to Lysander my one that's 3 energies and only the one. So then I don't have a threat at all. Yeah. So then my next turn was, so he does actually immediately punish this, like I said, and he Lysanders up that one. So the next turn, again, I just didn't hold a float stone when I should have. You can see he's gonna knock this out. Yeah, so he does get the knockout. He would have held the float stone because he still has a Rattata. But a Fighting Fury Belt is different, because Fighting Fury Belt can prevent, if he misses the Rattata, Fighting Fury Belt can prevent a knockout during his turn, but Floatstone has no value during his turn. So that was the problem here. You'll see it. I'm going to hit the Floatstone on the Trainer's Mail. And the other thing was, I'm going to play, after this, I grab this Floatstone, I'm going to play down the Baby Volcanion, which again doesn't, messes up my prize game. Like, I'm giving him another non-EX to knock out. So if he does have to knock out my active, then he can just knock out 2 130 HP. Obviously Shaman is an option, but he could just knock out 2 130 HP Pokemon rather than having to knock out one of these if some way I got rid of the Shaman. Anyways, so then the last turn here, my last turn I should say, I played Delinquent, but he had a dead hand, so there was really no need to Delinquent, because if I can recognize, oh, he has a dead hand, then it doesn't matter, or it's very unlikely that it makes it, the Delinquent makes a difference. I was thinking of the Ultra Ball play, but because he had 2 cards, so he'd have a third if he had Ultra Ball, but I guess that's just not worth that small chance. It's better for me to build up and try and see what I can get. So then he was saying maybe if I had Sycamore, I could have found my Perilous City or something like that to keep me from losing to Lysander for Shaman or Hoopa, since they both are one-shots without knocking out any Pokemon. But I don't do that. He does drop the Shaman, and he Lysanders and knocks out and wins the game. So that's the game. Those are the misplays I made. Hopefully this will be good for you all, and you can see misplays that you're making through my play and the corrections of Andrew Wamboldt on my play. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.